So hello world, welcome to Omogi Codes, and in this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to create raindrops with JavaScript. So once again, if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe, help my channel grow. And also if you have any questions or suggestions for content I might do in future, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. So what I have here is a blank project, and what we're going to do first is to create our files, the HTML file, the CSS file, and our main JavaScript file. Then what we're going to do next is to create use the HTML, create that HTML template and link our CSS to it. Then we are going to add our canvas to the screen and also add our JavaScript. After adding those, we are going to go to the CSS because we are only going to touch this file once, and we're going to only select the body. We're going to select the body, give it an overflow of hidden and a padding of 0 and a margin of 0 to prevent there from being a white edge at the end of the canvas. Then we'll select the body and give it a background of slightly gray color. Then we will make its width 100%, and the height we will make it 100% of the viewport's height so that it fills the entire screen. Then we will select our canvas and give it a width of 100% and also a height of 100% so that it fills the entire screen's width. So from then, yes, we can now close our CSS file and move to the JavaScript. So what we're going to do here first is select our canvas using its ID. Then we will select its context UD, which is like the pen we are going to use to render everything on the screen, or to draw everything on the screen. Then we're going to tell the canvas, hey canvas, your width is equal to the number of pixels on your width is equal to the number of pixels on the width of the screen, and the number of pixels on your height is equal to the number of pixels on the window's height, or the screen's height. So now everything is initially set up, so now we can start actually creating the raindrops. So what we're going to do first is to create an array, let's call it raindrops, which will hold all our raindrop objects. Raindrops. Then from here, we can create our function called create raindrops. No, first we'll create a function called get random integer, which will take in a minimum number and a maximum number and give us a random number in between those values. So we'll return the floor of math.random minus min plus min. You don't really have to understand this code right now, just know it gives you a random number in between two values, a minimum value and a maximum value, and we're going to use it to create randomness within the raindrops. So now we will create a function to actually create the raindrops. And here we will create a constant called number of drops. Let's say 500 for now. Then we'll create a for loop. I is less than number of drops, I plus plus. Then from here, what we're going to do is add, for each of those times, we will add an object with the property x, which is a random number between 0 and the canvas's width. So the value of the raindrops, of each raindrop, will be a random value between the start of the screen to the end of the screen. Then we will create a value y, a property y on the raindrop object, which for now we'll say maybe let's start at -10 or negative like 50, so that the raindrops start above the screen so when they can be seen, so that they can fall down from there. Then we will create a property length for the raindrop, which is a random integer, let's say between 2 and let's say 10, and a width so that some raindrops can be larger or smaller than others. Let's say 2 or 4. Yeah, some raindrops can have a thickness of 2, 3 or 4. Then after that, I think we're done with this. We can actually call the function so that the raindrops are created. But when we look at the browser right now, we'll see nothing because we haven't actually rendered anything on the screen. So now, after creating our raindrops, we can create a function called, let's call it update. And we can call update. And then for every time we run update, we request animation frame update, which is request animation frame is the JavaScript way of animating things. It calls a function like maybe 60 times a second, or depending on the refresh rate of your screen, and it's what people use to animate in JavaScript. So every time, so when we call update the first time, it's going to run update, and when we finish running our code, it's going to call request animation frame and run update again and again and again. That's how we'll animate things. So every time we update the screen, first we'll clear the screen and make sure it's empty. Then, we'll make sure the screen is empty. Then we will iterate through each raindrop. Raindrop for each drop. We will begin a path. We'll begin a path and stroke a path for each raindrop. So, for each raindrop, we'll move the pen to the drop's X position and the drop's Y position. Then we will trace a line to the pen's X position and the drop's Y position plus the drop's length. And then we will change the width of the pen to the drop's width. After that, we will, for each raindrop, after we've drawn the drop, we can take the drop's Y position and add, let's say 10. And we can add maybe 10 to it. Okay, can't see anything for some reason. Raindrops is not a function. Oh, I forgot something. Here we are supposed to write raindrops.push. So once we push the raindrops, we can see that the raindrops are actually falling, but they're falling down in a straight line. And when they reach the end of the screen, they're kind of just going away. So first we'll fix the problem with them just falling through the screen forever, infinitely. So we'll check if the drop's Y position is greater than the canvas's height, then the drop's Y position is equal to -10. So when the drop drops, it's going to spawn back to the top of the screen. But now they're dropping in a line, which is very ugly. So what we're going to do now is instead of writing -50 and having each drop spawn at the same position, we will get a random integer between between negative, let's say 50 again, and the negative of the canvas's height, so that they can drop from varying heights above the screen. So now when we run it, we can see that the drops are dropping from different positions. So what else we can do here to make the simulation look more realistic is, instead of adding 10 or a constant speed for each drop dropping, we can take each drop's length and maybe its width and add them together, then divide it by, let's say, 3, so that bigger drops will fall faster than thinner drops, I mean. And also, yeah, I think that's okay. It's dropping 2. Yeah, oh, actually this is good. This is good. The drops are dropping, yes, smoothly. Yeah, very smoothly, smoother than I actually thought. So something else we can do to make the simulation more more natural is, or more realistic, is change the color of the pen. So we can move here and write pen dot stroke style, which is the color of the pen, and let's say blue. Let's make the pen blue. Yeah, so now we can see that we've made drops and they're blue. I think that's the end of this tutorial. We have very nice looking raindrops. If you want to vary the speed of the drops, you can maybe change this to something like 2, and now you'll see the drops dropping faster. And yeah, I think that's enough for this tutorial. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And also, if you have any suggestions for content I may do in future. And also, besides that, when you make any project with this, please feel free to leave them also in the comments so I can look through them. Maybe I'll make a website where you can display stuff you've made with this knowledge. And yeah, thank you for watching this video.